10XL, 92.5 FM.
Was the biter, not Kevin Willis. So let me begin right now by correcting myself. How could we forget Tree Rollins taking a big bout out of Danny Ainge? I mean, who does that? Obviously, Mike Tyson to Evander Holyfield, but I'm Googling here, and for the most part, it happens in rugby. It happens in soccer. It's happened a couple of times, historically speaking, in hockey, including Jarkko Ruutu, biting Buffalo's Andrew Peters. Milan Lucic offered his finger to, let's see here, Alex Burrows, and he appeared to bite it. But that's basically it. I mean, isn't that like the absolute worst thing that you can do? And I'm not talking about in a street fight. I'm not talking about if you're trying to protect yourself. You got to do whatever it takes there. But when you're on ice or in a ring or, on a court or field, that is like, as a matter of fact, I can't openly think of anything that would be worse. I know that spitting on someone is like the ultimate sin. And actually, when you're a man like that, getting slapped as opposed to getting punched is supposed to really say something about the type of human being you are, right? Who was it that Will Smith, who did he hit? Chris Rock?
Yeah, that's it.
With the slap? Yeah. I mean, it would be much better if he punched him and bloodied him. At least, Will Smith, his feeling towards Chris Rock would be, this is man on man. Here it goes. Haymaker, but, with a slap. Oh, boy. That really questions what, in fact, you are. So, anyway, I'm looking. I really can't see any other examples of folks who have been bit. Here's one that I forgot about. Marv Albert bit a female companion multiple times back in Virginia. Led to a trial on assault charges. Remember that? The kind of underground sexual encounters of Marv Albert, ladies and gentlemen, biting women in the back. So I don't know. That's off the court. But when you Google the great biting scenarios, historically speaking, in sports, it includes Marv Albert. All right, good to have you with us. Rick Ballou here with you tonight till 8. The return of what's your name again? You've been gone. I was gone for a week. Then you were gone for 3 days. Dylan Denmark is here, back from Denver. How was that?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Seeing mountains for the first time, going on the mountains. I went out to Boulder for one morning, Saturday morning. Ironically, it was the same day that Travis Hunter signed his contract. Seeing David Tell one night, and then it was Tuesday night. Saw the Dodgers play the Rockies, and Ohtani went yard. So it was a lot of action, and I can tell you that coming back here, that the high altitude is a real thing.
Yeah.
I was playing basketball for like 5 minutes, completely out of breath. It was unreal.
High's the key word there, too. Everyone in the city smokes dope.
Yeah, I smelt it a couple of times.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Coors Field is a phenomenal place to see a baseball game. That's a nice little section downtown in Denver. Glad you enjoyed it. My final vacation coming up in July, right before training camp, will be primarily, again, in Colorado. Then we're going to head over and see Montana. I've never seen that particular state, but I just love the rivers and the mountains and, the animals, and you put on top of that some of the golf courses out there in Colorado. What a blast.
Oh, my gosh. I walked past a couple of courses. It's like right beside a highway or a road, and I wish I would have played out there. And the elk, especially at Rocky Mountain National Park, all over the place. We didn't see too many of them. I saw about 6 probably.
Yeah.
They said sometimes you can see like 100 of them. Some of them have big horns, but we weren't lucky enough to see them. But it was cool, man. Just seeing them walk just casually in a front yard or right across the street, and you just have to stop and just let them, do their business.
I like to take 2 cooler weather vacations in June and July. Typically go back to Boston and Cape Cod. or Maine or whatever it may be. And then it's either been Colorado or North Carolina. As a matter of fact, last year I did both Colorado and North Carolina, but obviously Carolina's been hit hard with the hurricane. So looking forward to getting back out to Colorado. But that's a long ways away. We got plenty to do tonight, and that's going to include Tom McManus, who's coming up in 15 minutes. Again, I watched a lot of practice with Tommy Mack over the last several weeks. Want to get his opinion on what he saw during OTAs and mandatory minicamp. And, you go down the road and you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and a statement was made today by the organization. Contract extensions for both Todd Bowles and Jason Licht. Now, Jason Light's been there for quite some time. He's been part of a Super Bowl winning team. You look at the draft picks that he has had over the years, going back to Mike Evans. You look at some of the deals that he has made, including bringing in Tom Brady, bringing in now Baker Mayfield. He's done some really good things for the Buccaneers. You look at Todd Bowles, this man was on the hot seat this morning. This man was on the hot seat last night. His last 3 years, 27 and 24 is Todd Bowles. What he's done, however, is win 3 straight NFC divisional titles. Let me start with that right now. If I give you the Gladstone-Cohen regime, and I tell you that they go 27 and 24 over the next 3 years, is that good enough for you? Is a 9-8 on average, 9-8 and 9-8, 3 consecutive years on average? Is that good enough for you as a Jaguars fan? Again, we're coming off a 4-13 season around here. The caveat in it all is I think you can absolutely compare both of these divisions in the South. To me, the AFC South is far and away the most dysfunctional division in the NFL. They just can't get out of each other's way. I mean, just look at general managers, head coaches, and quarterbacks. And it is a revolving door. It's good news for Jacksonville because you're hoping that they can create a little bit of stability. It's whether you want to accept it or not, it's crystal clear that, and I hate to use this word, I do, but it feels like there's patience that has been granted by Shad Khan. And again, I get it. You do not want to hear that word, and you should never have to hear that word. But what I'm trying to get at, it's not like there's pressure to go out and win a Super Bowl this year. They have made an incredible amount of changes, right? On my list, which is unofficial, I have 47 new Jaguars on this roster. 47. Think about that for a moment. They completely cleaned house. And they initially went out and signed, I think it was 10 free agents immediately, 8 offensive, 2 defensive. Since then, they've signed 4 or 5 more free agents. They drafted 9 players. They brought in 22 undrafted free agents. So, you're looking for marked improvement, right? Unfortunately, this league, the only thing that matters is your record, wins and losses. So let me begin with that, just throwing it out. We have this conversation 3 years from now. Is 27 and 24 good enough for you for Liam Cohen in his first 3 years in the NFL? Yes or no? And what if that 27 and 24 is good enough to bring you 3 consecutive AFC Southern divisional titles? Doesn't that change your overall way of thinking? That should be the first goal. Remember what happened about a month ago? College football said, forget about it. We're going straight seeding. Don't give us any of this conference junk. You had number 7 against number 8 last year, Ohio State against Notre Dame. It's all screwed up. We're not going to give anything buys to these conference champs. We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to straight seed it. Where the NFL, luckily, said we're going to keep it the way that it has been. And we are going to reward the 8 divisional winners home field. Of course, 1 bye in the AFC, 1 bye in the NFC. I still, to this day, am very surprised there wasn't a bigger deal made about that. I think you're a very intelligent football audience. I was nervous about this for you because the way that the Jaguars' luck would go is, you come back, you win the AFC South. They change the rules on you. Instead of getting a home playoff game, bam, you got to head off and play a Cincinnati or head off and play a Baltimore and do that on the road. And, they at least accepted this or made this a continuation for one more year, which is really good news. So if you want to comment on that, you can, 641-1010. Out of all the things that we are going to discuss about changes in the NFL, to me, as a Jaguar fan, that would be the most important one. I know we're going to talk about 18 games. I know we're going to talk about expanding rosters. And right now, I still think there's going to be some serious punches thrown behind the scenes between the NFL and the NFLPA, particularly on that story that Mike Florio found about how there's admittance, right? An arbiter ruled that the NFL colluded, right? The NFL said, hey, listen, let's stop giving guaranteed contracts to players. They gave a guaranteed contract to Deshaun Watson, and 4 teams wanted him. Not only the Browns, but the Panthers, the Falcons, and the Saints. And then a year later, Lamar Jackson's up for it, and no phone calls? That's collusion, okay? And the Players Association calling Russell Wilson a wuss, for not demanding the guaranteed contract. So I think that, there's really going to be a lot of infighting in pro football. So I think anything could come out of that. But if I was you as a Jaguars fan, with a real possibility here of being able to win this division, not only in 2025, but moving forward, you might only win it at 9-8. You might only win it at 10-7. That may not be enough to host if they change this rule. So just something to consider. Again, you don't have to worry about it for the 2025 season. As we know, the last 2 years, Houston has won with records of 10-7. Jacksonville won it 3 years ago with a record of 9-8. All right, a little bit surprised. I don't do polls. I don't do surveys. I just don't, but I did because I'm a hypocrite, and I like to contradict myself every once in a while. But I did yesterday on Bayshell Tootin'. And I threw out 300 yards. That was the total, over under. If I threw you a dime and I asked you to place it, is he going over 300 yards? This is rushing yards, or under 300 rushing yards. It was nearly unanimous. Now, I understand the audience. It's a Jaguar listening audience. But I had one guy who said, no way. Everyone else was like, yes, 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 yes. This is so fascinating to me. And I'm going to get into it with Tom McManus, who joins us here in just a couple of minutes. You can say and do whatever you want, but it all comes down to Trevor. And the best way to help him is to be able to run the football. Right now, he's clearly the third guy behind Tank and ETN. I think Tank gets the majority of the carries. But a lot of you out there believe, and especially after the 4th-round rookie a year ago, Bucky Irvin, and all the success he did have in Tampa Bay with Liam Cohen, that the rookie Tootin is going to get that opportunity this year and that he's going to fall over the 300 yards. Which way would you go, Dylan?
Oh, I definitely lean over 300. I think he can get that by, I feel like, the latest week 10, week 12.
I'm not so sure. Hope you're right. Not so sure. I'm not. I think they're going to go with the veterans early. The knock on Tootin obviously is a fumble issue, and he did it during that very first practice. But it's going to be one of the many, many storylines in the incredible competition that is really going to kick off here in less than 1 month. So we'll do that with Tom McManus coming up here in just a little bit. All right, opening comments are brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Want to get them started right here on this Thursday night. And, again, I cut the lawn yesterday, wore the glasses. This is a tip for you. Don't cut the lawn, especially with the way things are right now, with how dry the grass is and the shrubs are and sticks fall from trees and whatever it may be. You don't want to have to deal with that. So wear yourself some sunglasses and then get yourself checked out. When's the last time you have had a full eye examination? Shmunez Vision. You'll find them out at the beach. You're talking about more than 30 years worth of experience when you bring in both of the Shmunezes, both Catherine and Neil, and as well Dr. John Hunt, okay? Whether it is a selective surgery, like a laser eye surgery, giving you 20/20 for the rest of your life, or something that is far more important, like refractive surgery or cataract surgery. Your one-stop is Shmunez Vision. Check them out online. Go to Shmunez Vision. Also go to Instagram. Get all the testimonials at Shmunez Vision. All right, we are jam-packed. Thursday nights. Great to have you with us. He's still in Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou. This is the home of the Jaguars.
Let's get this crowd going now. Come on, get him up, get him up, get him up.
Come on! Come on! Come on!
Crowd on its feet.
This is what we live for right here.
1010XL.
This is what you live for. Let's go!
It's Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jax Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jax Beach or visit apexroofingfl.com.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Baseball is back. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball at the newly renovated VyStar Ballpark is your home for affordable family fun. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game and kids round the bases after Sunday games. Log on to jumboshrimp.com for tickets and details. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Affordable family fun.
If you miss an interview, it'll be waiting for you on demand.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Search where you find podcasts.
And at 1010XL.com.
Trained by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Yo, it's your main man E.T. here for Explore Clay. And Clay County is your destination this 4th of July. Start the morning with the Freedom 5K in Keystone Heights. Medals for the first 300 finishers and a scenic course through the shaded neighborhoods. Then enjoy the 57th annual celebration at City Hall with vendors, live music, and family fun. Wrap up the day at Moose Haven in Orange Park for the American Pride 4th of July, a free Riverside event with food, live entertainment, and fireworks over the St. Johns River. Discover more at exploreclay.com.
When you're experiencing sudden, unexpected dental pain, the last thing you want to hear is that your dentist can't see you until next week. That's why I'm so glad I found Harbor Dental Care. Whenever I call, they always find a way to see me within 24 hours, and they can usually fix whatever's wrong the same day. Plus, they have locations throughout Jacksonville, so no matter what side of town I'm on, I can always count on the same great care. If you want to find a dentist who believes in treating people right, learn more at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Hacker here, and it's been a crazy couple of weeks. Went on a cruise, went out to Las Vegas. There's been a lot going on, and the good folks of Awaken 180 understand that life goes on, man. It's all about losing weight. It's all about getting healthier, but the coaching I get with Awaken 180, my coach Kate, we make game plans for these trips. We talk about things to do, things to try to avoid, but she also understands that it's vacation, right? It's about life. It's about having a fun time. So right when we get back from these trips, I get right back on the program. Been doing it for over a year now, down over 100 pounds in the maintenance program. Awaken 180 is absolutely life-changing, but they understand life, which makes them a lot different from a lot of other weight loss programs. If it's time for you to drop some weight like it was for me, go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800 and get involved with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a fight for the last slice of pizza? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I heard a Guns N' Roses cover today from Nazareth. It's Hair of the Dog, and I'd never heard it before. Really good stuff by Guns N' Roses. All right, tonight's show brought to you by the good folks over at Alexander Law Practice. We'll get there in just a couple of minutes. But right now, let's bring in my buddy. He is the Jaguars' former middle linebacker, Tom McManus. Hello, Tommy.
What's up, Rick? How you doing, buddy?
Everything's good. And, you know, I spent a week in Boston, and you obviously went to school there at BC, and I made my way around. I know a lot of names have changed, but give me a couple of your favorite bars in downtown Boston.
So I know you were at Bell in Hand. I love Bell in Hand.
Yes.
Although the Black Rose is one of my favorites of all time.
Right on the outskirts of Faneuil Hall. Thank you. Absolutely love the Black Rose. Yep.
It is fantastic. I used to bounce at a place called Play It Again Sam's, which was back in Brighton a little bit.
All right.
City Side was by the campus. Mary Ann's no longer.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mary Ann's is a weed dispensary now. It used to be a bar. That we'd always get a lot of trouble in. So we weren't allowed to do that very much after Coughlin came in. But yeah, hey, listen, Boston, Faneuil Hall to me, I love Faneuil Hall. I like Newberry Street too. They got a lot of cool places there. I'll tell you a great story. Where's that place on Newberry? I met Charles Barkley when I was a fifth-year senior. Him and Rodman were in there, and I got introduced to Barkley, and I sat down next to him for just like 5-10 minutes. He was hammered. I remember that. But he was so cool. Daisy Buchanan's. Remember that place, Daisy Buchanan's?
I don't remember that. I can't lie to you. I mean, there's so many great Irish bars in Boston, but I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it was a good memory from way back.
We'll go with the Black Rose, though. Black Rose, man. I mean, your flip-flops or sneakers stick to the floor, and just love that place. All right, Tom, had the opportunity to watch quite a bit of practice with you over the last several weeks, both OTAs and mandatory minicamp. Just overall, what did you think of the brand new regime? I know you keyed in a lot on the defense, and it's tough without pads. But what were your thoughts of this new staff?
Well, no, I like them. I mean, look, you got to love the energy. I think they got a lot to prove. I think they're hungry as hell, where they want to prove that, hey, even though we're first-year guys, we know what we're doing and we know what we want. I came away from, OTAs Media was only allowed to be there for, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them. I think I made all of them. Of course, the mini camp, the 3 practices, was there for that. And I walked away like, look, I mean, I'm excited because it's new. But I didn't walk away with like, okay, this team's gonna be dangerous. Now that doesn't mean they can't be. I just didn't feel like it. And the biggest issue, not issue, but question I have, and it's not fair because, like you said, they weren't in pads. But how good is our offensive line going to be? Because we got a ton of weapons. We've got the running backs, we got the receivers, of course, Trevor at QB. I love the tight end and Strange, and the guys that they brought in look like they're going to be able to do what Liam wants them to do. But the big question mark is this O-line going to be good enough to protect our QB and open up holes? And maybe they will be, because you can't tell. But, look, the defense dominated a lot in the minicamp. They just did. And, again, you're not finishing blocks. You can't really go full speed. The defense will have that advantage. So, to me, that's just if the O-line comes together, they don't have to be top 5, but if they're a solid offensive line that you can count on, yeah, it's going to be a fun team to watch, especially if the D-line turns out to be as good as I think they're going to be. You know what I mean? I think they're going to be really good. But we got to see because, again, they're going against an O-line that I don't know if it's any good. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to really just based on the offseason. But as far as the new coaches, I love them. I got the chance to talk with Liam a couple of times. I've talked to Anthony Campanelli. I like him a lot. I like the energy. I like what they're doing. But at the end of the day, brother, you know what they got to do? They got to win. It's all about wins and losses in the National Football League. But so far, it was a good offseason, and I'm looking forward to 2025.
Tom McManus, our guest. Believe it or not, we're less than 1 month away from training camp. We'll cover it all for you right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. You nailed it. I mean, we talked about it watching them. 6 new offensive linemen. You got to protect Trevor, and you got to be able to run the ball. They got to take some pressure off of Trevor. And the best way to do that, they have 3 backs they like, maybe even 4 backs that they like. You have to be able to run that football.
Yeah, no question about it. Look, it worked for the Bucs last year, helped Baker Mayfield out a ton. It's going to be interesting, that running back room, Rick. I mean, you got 4 right there. If that Allen kid can turn out to be your third down back, because you just said it, you got to protect Trevor. And too many times our running back that was supposed to pick up the blitzer or whoever really didn't do a good job. And that was Etienne Jr., that was Bigsby. They really didn't. They got beat one-on-one. They sometimes missed the block completely, or they went the wrong way. So if the kid out of Q's can come in and show that, hey, man, I can be that third down, that passing down back, it's going to get really interesting in that running back room. And you got to wonder who is the odd man out, because as we all know, Three's company was a long time ago, but reality is Three's a crowd.
Yep.
And I don't know how you're going to balance that, but it should be a fun camp to figure all that out and watch this running back room get to work and see who ends up being the main guys.
Yeah, Liam Cohen last year at Tampa Bay, among league leaders, not only in the screen game, but also getting the ball and getting it to wide receivers and running backs behind the line of scrimmage. Only Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City had more of those type of plays. And when you look at Brown and you look at Hunter and Thomas and you throw in Tootin, this is the most speed I've seen in Jacksonville in maybe back to the days that you played.
No, you without a doubt. And let me tell you something. I think Brown might be faster than the other 2 wideouts, to be honest with you. That guy absolutely smokes it. Of course, Tootin runs a 4.3. We saw him that one carry during minicamp where he felt like taking it to the house and looked pretty fast doing it. But I think that's the deal, right? That's what they want. They want more speed. They want speed on offense. They want speed on defense. They want to be able to protect Trevor. They want that running back to be able to pound the rock, catch some passes, and pick up the blitzer when called upon. And then at the end of the day, it comes down to 16, and being on his game week in and week out.
Yeah, and I thought he was good in camp. I thought there were times where he struggled. I mean, especially early, but he hadn't thrown it in 4 months after surgery. Towards the end of mini camp, I thought he got a little bit better, particularly in red zone. But that's what it comes down to. And this team, this new organization has tried, right? 6 offensive linemen, 2 new backs, 3 new tight ends, 2 new wide receivers. They've done it all. But when it's all said and done, it's where can Trevor Lawrence go as far as his growth? Can he become a consistent top 10 quarterback in the NFL this year?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. It's consistency because he's shown that he can, but he hasn't shown that consistently he can. So hopefully this is a year. I mean, this is his time. It's his 5th year. I don't care about how many different coaches he has. I don't care about all that stuff. I mean, Baker Mayfield, I read, had like 8 and 9 years, different offensive coordinators. So it happens in football, and it is what it is. But this is his time. So I think one thing I do like about Liam, and I think he's very honest with his critique of his players. You know, Trevor came out early in the offseason. He's like, yeah, I got to work on my feet. You know, I got to flip my hips. And I'm sitting there reading like, man, you do know that already, right? Like you're going into your 5th year. You know, you got to point your foot. You know, you got to flip your hips. You know, it's all footwork. Yeah. And I think Liam's really stressing that. And I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to see a better Trevor Lawrence. I really do. Look, again, he's shown that he can do it from time to time. But the key is you've got to be consistent. That goes for everybody across the board. But that quarterback has got to be consistent more times than not, week in and week out. So hopefully he can get that done.
What did you make of Travis Hunter?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he looks good. I'm not as carried away as everybody else. So to be honest, listen, I go if I'm not out at night, Ricky, I go to bed early on Saturday night. I'm not watching Pac-12 football. I could care less watching that stuff. So I got to be honest. I can't really say that I watched what he did. I watched his highlights. Obviously, he's a very gifted athlete. He can run for days. I know that. He's in great condition. I'm looking forward to seeing him. But let me be honest. Brian Thomas Jr. has proved it. He showed that he's an absolute stud in the National Football League, and I'm looking forward to seeing both those guys work together. And but let's not forget that BT, man, he is something special. And I'm thankful we have him. And I think Travis is going to be a nice compliment. I think Diami's going to be a nice compliment in that slot. I think he got Strange. I think we'll figure out the back out of the backfield, and we got some weapons there, my man. Yeah. You know, some really strong weapons and can get down the field and make things happen in space. So that'll be big.
What's the old expression? One man's trash is another man's treasure. Thomas Castellanos, what in the heck did you guys send us down to God's country?
Listen, we didn't send it. You came and got him. So I don't know what's going on. I tell you, look, I don't have anything against the kid. I say I wish him well until they play Boston College. But I don't know. I didn't know. I was shocked that you guys even went for him. I watched a lot of Boston College football. He can run. He's got great feet. He's really like he should be a slot receiver. To be honest with you, he is really fast. He's really quick. The arm, you can have him. That's why he got benched. And on top of that, Rick, listen, I know it's a new age. I know, right? I'm an old curmudgeon or whatever, but he left the team right after he got benched.
I know he did.
I mean, literally left the team. He didn't wait for the season to end. He didn't suck it up and say, you know what, maybe I just got to work on my game. Maybe I deserve to be benched. Maybe I wasn't playing that well. But no, he took his ball and he went to the ball. They were paying him, too. I'm not going to tell you the number, but they were paying him a decent amount of money to be that. And here's the problem with college football today. This will be his 3rd team. That's atrocious. I'm sorry. It is. What are you talking about? You don't get to transfer more than once. You want to transfer, I get it. Things aren't working out. You don't like the coach. He don't like you. Things just don't happen. But you can't keep bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. To me, that's what's wrong with college football. And I don't know. I'm not impressed. Maybe he turns it around, and maybe Norvell can get him to really play some good football. But I'll be shocked when I see it, to be honest with you. I'll tell you what. I went to BC Florida State last year, the Labor Day game, right? It was it didn't feel like Florida State. Their quarterback was even worse. DJ Ukulele, whatever his name was, he was terrible. He was absolutely terrible. And Castellanos, he was okay. You know, he got out of Dodge a couple times, got out of trouble. But overall, man, I don't know. And he's crazy. He ain't that talented to say that about Bama. I don't care if Nick Saban's there or not. He just ain't that talented.
I mean, after a 2-10 season, you come out and make those type of comments. I know bulletin board material goes away once toe meets leather, but why would you give any fuel? Because at Bama, a 9-4 year at Bama is bad. They're fired up already out there in Tuscaloosa.
He ain't playing Wake Forest week in and week out, all right? You're going to play Alabama. That's a big difference. Yep. And those guys that are a lot bigger than him are just as fast. So I hope he doesn't get hurt because it's a violent game out there, Rick.
Tom, always a pleasure, man. Take care. Thank you.
Man. Thank you. Always a good time.
There he goes, Tom McManus. Appreciate him getting in. Yeah, Thomas Castellanos. And that just boils my blood. I mean, just shut up.
Were you shocked when you saw that? What?
I couldn't believe it.
I thought the same thing.
You know, I mean, I was just, it came in, I was like, is this a joke? Please tell me this is The Onion.
Or is
Please
it
tell me
AI?
this is satire. There's no way that this quarterback who got benched and quit, then got paid, getting ready to be under center for a team that just went 2-10, came out and said those things about Alabama.
Yeah, even though they didn't have a good year last year, they've still been the bully of college football the last 10 years.
Oh, man, I just couldn't believe it. And I just said, is this really the type of kid, the quality of the human being that Mike Norvell is bringing over to this Florida State football team? And, you know, Norvell has all these rules, including to us in the media. He scolded me for asking about why Jared Verse didn't practice. He actually didn't scold me. He scolded the sports information department. But, you know, you can't wear earrings in the Moore Athletic Center. You can't wear a hoodie. You can't wear a hat. All this crap.
You asked really good questions, by the way.
And then he lets the quarterback come out and say something like this. Man, I don't even know what to make of it. I just don't. I mean, I didn't think I could get any more frustrated by my alma mater after a 2. When you make comments like this, I'll be honest, I am so emotionally involved in this that I want to root against them. That it gets to the point where I want to see him fail and I want to see Norvell get fired. That's where I am. Okay? You're talking about year 6, and you don't know if this guy can coach. Year 6, not year 2, not year 3, year 6. You don't know if he can coach. I don't know if he can coach. No one knows if this guy can coach. And his quarterback pops off like that. Wow. Alexander Law Practice, thank you. They bring you the program right here on Thursday night. For everything that involves personal injury, particularly if you've been in a vehicle accident, go to AlexanderLawPractice.com. That's AlexanderLawPractice.com. Free review. Give him a call, 466. And let me say this to you. You know, you may think that you don't have any options. You may believe that, you know, no one's there for you. Rick Alexander, his expertise is defending you against those who were on the other side of the accident, primarily because of careless driving, right? If that has happened to you and your car is in the shop, you can't get to work, you're going to get the individual attention that you deserve, and you are going to get an immediate call back. So set up a free consultation today, 400-6600, or log on to AlexanderLawPractice.com. Your reaction to what you heard from Tom McManus, 641-1010. Best way to join us on the text line. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. We're with you tonight till 8 o'clock.
The roar of the crowd. The theater of your mind. It comes alive in your ears. Showtime. Jacksonville's play-by-play sports radio. 1010XL.
I've been having knee problems for probably 6 months, and my knee was getting worse, and I had heard about Southeast Orthopedics on the radio, and I gave them a call. They got me right in. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. It was painless, and it's been doing fantastic. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
Jacksonville, Florida. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Ready to ride the waves? Best Bet St. Augustine is turning up the heat with our Summer Splash promotion. We're giving away over $40,000 in cash and prizes, including a brand new 2025 Yamaha Wave Runner. From now through August 8th, every hour you play poker or table games earns you an entry to win. It all leads up to the grand prize drawing on August 9th. The more you play, the more chances you have. Don't miss your shot to make a splash this summer. Visit bestbetjacks.com for all the details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 26, 1996, the Philadelphia 76ers selected Georgetown guard Allen Iverson with the number 1 pick in the NBA draft.
The 2025 season schedule has dropped, and single-game tickets are on sale now. Be at the bank to watch Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars take on the biggest names in the NFL. Don't miss your favorite matchup and secure your tickets now by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. See you this fall, Jags fans.
Yes, sir. That's the best decision.
I love it.
Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org.
This 4th of July, Navy Mutual would like to salute Joe DiMaggio as our hero in sports. Nicknamed the Yankee Clipper, you know Joe for his record 56-game hitting streak that may never be touched. But he was also a sergeant during World War II.
Cannonball! Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too. Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Man, I can't wait for Saturday. I'm going to the Jacksonville Axemen Rugby League game. They're playing the Southwest Florida Copperheads, and it's gonna be good.
Rugby league is crazy. No pads or helmets. No, that's a real contact sport. Count me in.
Join the ratified credit union Jacksonville Axemen as they take on the Copperheads at the UNF Turf Field this Saturday at 7. Tickets start at $10 and kids under 12 are free at jacksax.com.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Hal Sutton when he famously said, "Be the right club today"? Well, that's what Coil Fencing delivers. The right fence today. And they've been delivering the right fencing for both commercial and residential properties for nearly 100 years. If you're in the market for a new fence, call Coil & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
Need the right tools for the job without the full-time price tag? Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach is what you need when you need it. From heavy machinery for commercial projects to weekend projects at the house, we've got you covered. We've been serving Jacks for 50 years. Visit Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach, just behind Aqua East Surf Shop, or call today. We also have event rentals too. Tucker Equipment Rentals. Tools you need without the price tag of purchasing.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Detroit, Michigan, the center of the PGA Tour universe, the Rocket Classic. A lot of 62s, 63s today. They're going low in Detroit. Let's talk about the PGA Tour. Let's do it with our golf analyst. Always a pleasure to bring on Rick Shoemaker. He is the owner and operator of the Cimarron Golf Club. We like to call it the Wild One. Rick, how are you?
Awesome. Excited to be talking to you. And we're getting in the heart of golf season, right? We're more than halfway there, so it's fantastic.
No doubt about it. Getting in, to some states, going from Connecticut now to Michigan. So, getting away from the Californias and Florida and what have you, and always enjoy this time of year. Let's get right to Keegan Bradley, though. He won again in Connecticut. We know that he is going to be the captain this year for the Ryder Cup. Now that he has won, the question is, should he also play? What do you think's best there, Rick?
I don't think he can do both. So, it's a tough decision for him. Captain of the Ryder Cup is a fantastic achievement and, to a career. But he's playing well, though, and he does have a little bit of fire in him, and I think he'd be awesome as a player. But to do both, I think would be challenging. So I hope he elects to be a captain, but if he does want to play, I hope he steps back and looks at putting that off for 2 years maybe.
Yeah, well said. I couldn't agree more. It's just too much. It really is. And, to be the captain and make all these right moves, always going to be questioned by both sides of the media. The play would just open up an enormous amount of criticism for him on both sides. If he didn't make the right selections or if he didn't play well himself, I think that there's wise people around him, Rick. They're going to say, just be the captain.
Yeah, and I apologize, I don't have it. Who is the assistant at the moment?
You know what? I honestly don't even know who it is next to Keegan Bradley. Maybe we can find that for you. But anyway, nonetheless, I think it's a little bit too much at this point for him to be able to do.
Yeah, I agree. Now, again, he's playing well. Again, he's in the heart of his season. He won on, his home grounds, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, again, we'll see how, maybe it comes down in the next 10 weeks, 6 weeks, I guess, maybe for these guys by the time they're picking the captain. But I see Jim Furyk's one of his assistants.
Okay.
So Jim would probably move to that. But, yeah, he is the mature guy. He has the fire because I don't know why, but the Americans just don't seem to have a fire under them in this Ryder Cup. I don't know why that is. Don't know why.
Yeah, I think most people would agree with that, and that really comes down to what a lot of people actually do think about the PGA Tour in itself. Let's see. Jim Furyk, Webb Simpson, Brandt Snedeker, and Kevin Kisner are the vice captains. So there you go.
Yeah.
Under Keegan Bradley. So a lot of brain trust there, no doubt about it. Speaking of brain trust, it's coming to an end here for Jay Monahan. A lot of people think it should have come to an end for Jay Monahan, quite some time ago. But what's the biggest challenge now for Brian Roloff when he takes over? And, you and I have had several conversations about this game, and the U.S. Open was so rewarding to see that at Oakmont, the winner had it at 1 under. But again, look at today in Detroit. How can you make changes, Rick? Is it the golf ball? Is it the golf equipment? What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge here as we move forward?
Well, when it comes to scoring, I like this roller coaster, the ups and downs. I just think, again, I think we talked about this a month ago, and I love it. I think it's great to see these guys shooting 20-some under. It shows you their talent. But when they're tested on the best courses in the world in the toughest conditions, it makes a player, think, which is just as important in the game. It makes them have to have strategy. It makes them have to have patience. And that's what the game's about. So I like the variety. Mm-hmm. Again, I think I summed it up last time, right? If you can go out and have a great time dancing and having a fantastic night, but sometimes the candlelight dinners are great too.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, I don't mind the ups and downs. I think this whole ball thing, club thing, I also think it's out of control. I think, look, play the game as it is. What's happening in every sport we see, these guys are trained. They've got specialists. They are athletes. The golfer is now an athlete, right? The John Daly persona is few and far now, right? Where the guy can just come out and just play a few times and have that natural ability. You're playing against guys that are tweaking their club to get 3 extra yards, right? And the launch angles and all of this craziness. And then they're working out and fine-tuning their bodies, and they're as fit as possible. They're hitting the ball further because of that.
Yeah. You mentioned John Daly. It feels like the PGA Tour is really lacking a personality. I mean, it's such a great opportunity out there for anyone, as a young player to come out and just be somewhat different from what really appears to be the norm on the PGA Tour. It just feels like the personality's not there. The exuberance of some of these guys is not there. And, unfortunately, you and I love it. A lot of our listeners love it, but to some, it's just become boring.
I'm right there with you. I think the personalities are missing. I think they've toned it down, the players. DeChambeau Bryson is one that would not be that, right? He has stepped outside the box, and he's a persona that people are attracted to. And, the love-hate relationships need to be out there, and they aren't. The PGA Tour did a great job when I was there years ago of highlighting the younger players. You see a lot of commercials with that. Maybe I'm not in as tune with it, but I don't see as much of that highlighting these players. Again, I talked about Liv and where I thought it was, and those top 20-plus guys that one weekend I was watching it. It was exciting. Now, I'm a 56-year-old man. That those guys are who I used to watch growing up. But it's fun watching those guys, and there's personality, there was enthusiasm, and these young guys, they're so focused that I do think they sometimes forget that it's a game and we're here to have fun, and how do we have fun doing it?
Yeah. I was in Boston last week. I had a couple of buddies who echoed exactly what you said the last time we had this conversation. They absolutely love watching the Live Tour. And again, you got great players and you got personalities over there. I just wonder if at some point they can merge. And, they do for majors, which we know is not PGA Tour, that's USGA. But even here with the players, which many consider is the 5th most important event on the, during the calendar year, it would be great to have DeChambeau and those type of players here.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, their contracts are coming up, DeChambeau and Koepka. So it's going to be a very interesting dialogue with Liv, see what those guys try to do, jumping back to the tour. Again, Roland and the PGA Tour where they are, they're definitely trying to think outside the box. He's going to bring a perspective from outside looking in to the tour, but he's going to be in a box, and the tour, it'll be interesting to see how big that box gets and how soft the sides get, and can they break out of this box they've been in, and time's going to tell.
I got about a month. I got less than a month until training camp with the Jaguars gets underway, and I haven't been to Cimarron now. I was gone a week ago, so Rick Shoemaker, of course, runs everything there at the Cimarron Golf Club. Give us the very latest. What's going on there right off of 210?
Well, it's hot, right? It's summertime, so but the golf course is flourishing. The greens are fantastic. People are loving the property. We couldn't be happier where we are. The guests, again, we still think we're one of the best values in town. You can come out and play as low as $39, $44 late afternoon. In the mornings, we have some great deals as well. We're coming up on our 3-year anniversary in July, so I would tell everybody to be on the lookout for specials throughout July. We'll be 3 years there with my management oversight and my team, and we're excited about that, and we're enthused about where we've been, but we're excited about the future, and we want everybody to enjoy the Wild One and just have a great time, both on and off the golf course.
Man, that sounds outstanding. Always a blast. Rick, thank you so much. I'll see you out there at Cimarron Golf Club next week.
All right, sounds great, Rick. Thank you.
There he goes. Rick Shoemaker, owner and operator of the Cimarron Golf Club. It is the Wild One, located right off of 210. All right, let's get ready for hour number 2. Let's get you involved with the program a little bit. You have a golf question, an idea, bring it to us. back to the Jaguars in our second hour. I'm going to get back over to Trevor Lawrence and some things that I have found numbers-wise that I think will intrigue you. So we got a lot to do. Best way to join us, text line 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, welcome those watching on YouTube. That is 1010XL into the night.
Tailgating around the clock.
Either way, we ought to have a lot of fun, huh?
Sports are made for celebrating.
Way too loud!
With 1010XL.
Hey, John, have you seen the exciting 2025 lineup at Randy Marion Cadillac?
They've got the Lyric, IQ, Optique, and the stunning Visti. It's a Cadillac lover's dream.
And the best part, over 100 new Cadillacs are in stock and ready for you to drive home today.
Plus, it's the perfect time to trade in your Tesla and experience luxury and performance like never before.
Visit us today at Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville.
Don't miss out on these incredible vehicles. Your new Cadillac awaits.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Born in Jacksonville, raised on Southern Rock, and coming home to the Florida Theater, it's Molly Hatchet. Saturday, June 28th. Get your fill of Southern Rock fury. Grab your seat at floridatheater.com. It's a hometown homecoming with Molly Hatchet.
Power bill just went up again? Why keep paying more? Clay Solar can wipe that electric bill out. Right now, they'll cover your first 6 months' payments. Visit claysolar.com today to schedule your free consultation. claysolar.com.
Since 1901, generations of skilled union workers have built the backbone of our community. Hospitals, schools, the buildings where you work. Every year, a new apprentice class of Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians is stepping up, trained, driven, and ready to do great things. They're not just building our city, they're building their future. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to become a member or contractor today.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out The Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At The Y, summer camps every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, wants to make your flight in and out of Jax a fun one. Stop by Vino Volo in the airport and enjoy 2 signature brackish cocktails. Vino Volo has amazing food and cocktails before your flight. Brackish Vodka is the first clean craft vodka and made right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Brackish Vodka for whatever your sport is. If your sport is flying, your vodka is Brackish, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Ready to add some value to your day? The everyday deals at Sonny's have got you covered. Right now, you can get the pork big deal for $10, the pork and rib combo for $12, all you can eat ribs for $19.99, and our new loaded barbecue potato for $11. Available all day, every day. And that's why it's always Sonny's here. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. I always brag on what you guys have on-road and off-road. But, Greg, tell everybody about what's happening on the water, because you got loads of opportunity.
We do. We've got lots of boats in stock. We got the Honda 19-foot Fisher Runabout. We've got the Coach pontoons, all of them with that legendary Honda motor and legendary Honda reliability, which you always want when you're out on the water.
You could be cruising along the Intercoastal or out on the ocean, but check it out. Facebook page ready for all of you to see, Cycles of Jacksonville, or their showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Zero Res. They want to help you clean your home or business. Big summer savings with 3 rooms clean starting at $129 and 20% off your air duct cleaning. Call them 904-287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. The night with Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Into the night of Thursday, round 2 of the NBA draft, and a whole bunch of baseball, which is fine with me. The PGA Tour out in Detroit again. They're going low. Playing for $9,600,000. Cooper Flag. We got into that last night. Could end up being the first ever $1 billion athlete paid by the team. I'm not talking about endorsements. And Spot Track did a really good job on that. I enjoyed that yesterday. I got a lot of good feedback from you on, if you just kind of went through it historically speaking, who would have made the most money. You got to take into consideration longevity. That's why I went with Nolan Ryan, Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron. I don't think it's ever going to happen in football because of the salary cap. I think it's there for the NBA, and I absolutely think it's there for Major League Baseball. I mean, you look at Soto, $765 million, 15-year deal. He had made some money before then, but it could be a kid. And you have the NHL draft coming up tonight. You have the June amateur draft coming up in Major League Baseball. So you have 3 drafts this month if you include the NBA. I don't think it'll ever happen in hockey. Frankly, it should be baseball, right? It's 162 games. If the NBA, 82 games, they certainly do produce it. And, Michael Jordan, if he was playing today, it could be a $1 billion athlete, I believe, if he did play long enough. I've been cleaning out my desk. I don't know why. I'm just trying to stay busy. And, I save a lot of things that I think I could go back to for the show. I've always been a big fan of doing things like that. As a matter of fact, the first show I did here in 2006, I still have my my routine, things I scribbled down. So that's almost, that's 19 years worth of shows. I've got legal pads. I probably got about 75 of them on my desk going back to the very first show that I did. I don't know why I do it. I just think, okay, if all of a sudden, because there's never a dog day for me. There's never a slow time for me. If there's a slow time for you in the world of sports talk radio, then you shouldn't do it. Okay? There's no excuse. Find something. But I started saving stuff because I figured, all right, well, it's the 26th day of June. What did I do last year? What did I do in 2010? June, and I've just never really gone back to it. So it's been kind of useless, but anyway, it's there. But I was throwing some stuff out, and this really kicked me below the belt because I go in and out with wrestling. It's almost like a drug to me, right? It's like I'm an addict, but I can go a long period of time without being involved in it, and then I go completely back to it. I desperately miss the old school Monday nights. Those were great when you had Turner and you had Vince when he was fully involved with the WWE. And I grew up with the WWF when that was regional. It was based out of New York, but I went to the Boston Garden. As a matter of fact, I found a program in there, or I guess one of my daughters, when she was here when I was doing the show, put a mustache on Hulk Hogan on the program from 1979. I used to go in all the time, take the train and go to the Boston Garden. But I found this, and it was wrestlers who had died since 1985 before the age of 65. And it just struck me that Chris Von Erich died at 21. Mike Von Erich died at 23. Quick Draw Rick McGraw died at 30. I mean, one of the greatest wrestling matches I ever saw was Quick Draw Rick McGraw and Andre the Giant against Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito with Lou Albano in the corner. And they pulverize McGraw. The Giant takes him back behind the curtain. This was before wrestling was huge. I'm guessing this was 76, 77, 78. Obviously, he should have been counted out for 10 seconds, but he did. Comes back in. Andre starts pounding Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito. Albano makes this big, grand, exit and comes back with Blackjack Mulligan, who applies the claw on Andre the Giant. And I remember just sitting, my brother and I sitting there trying to tell my dad this is real and all this stuff is great. Well, anyway, he died at 30. Buzz Sawyer at 32. Kerry Von Erich, 33. I saw the documentary on the Von Erichs. Just a horrific one. If you've seen it, I think there's a couple of different ones out there. It's really frightening what happened to the Von Erich family. Eddie Gilbert at 33. Owen Hart, that we all remember. Adrian Adonis, man, 34. I always love the bad guys. When Adrian Adonis teamed up with Jesse the Body Ventura, and it was I believe it was a Freddie Blassie, the classy Freddie Blassie, who led that twosome. That was one of my all-time favorite tag teams. So anyway, Eddie Guerrero at 38, Davey Boy Smith, 39. Man, these people, Pitbull at 36. Any of these names register to you, or are they too old for you?
Yeah, too old for me.
Terry Gordy at 40. The first time I was ever exposed to that style of wrestling in Texas, it was Terry Gordy, Michael Hayes, I think it might have been Roberts against the Von Erichs. It was incredible stuff. Bruiser Brody at 42, Miss Elizabeth at 42, Big Boss Man at 42, Mike Awesome at 42, Dino Bravo at 44. Dino Bravo was a mafia hit in Montreal. He was somehow involved with the Canadian mafia. Bam Bam Bigelow, 45. Jerry Blackwell, 40. The Junkyard Dog, 45. I mean, these Andre the Giant and Big John Studd both died at 46. I saw those two fight in a cage match in the Boston Garden. No embellishment. No, this is flat out truth. Giant against Studd. It was a great era. Magnificent Morocco, my all-time favorite wrestler, against Jimmy Snuka in a cage. So anyway, I just saw this, and I thought I would bring it out because I didn't plan on seeing it. But, I mean, almost everyone on this list I remember. Moondog Spot, man. Haystacks Calhoun. Giant Haystacks. Kurt Von Hess. The Crippler. Ray Stevens. You remember that? It was Piper's Pit. And it was Ray Roberts, I think his name was, or I don't know. And Snuka was a bad guy, and then he got pile driven by Ray the Crippler Stevens, and became really good stuff back in those days. All right, if I wasted a few minutes of your time, I do apologize. But every once in a while, it does become a little bit impromptu, and I just found that in the desk today, and kind of sat back, and I was like, wow. They entertained millions and millions and millions. And these stories about wrestlers are scary because, for the most part, we think of the glamour when they were on Monday nights or whatever it was. Again, I'm out of the loop now. I know Tony Khan's involved now. But you talk about the travels and the house shows, and you know what it's like if you're a traveling man or a traveling woman. It can catch up on you. Since I mentioned wrestling here, let me tell you this, Dylan. I went to a house show in Weston, Massachusetts, and it was Aka the Samoan, not Sika, but Aka, okay, taking on Andre the Giant.
That's a name, I know.
Right. And this was in a high school gym of probably 2,000 to 3,000 people. Of course, I was rooting for the Samoan because I always rooted for the bad guy. But Andre won. He got a pinfall. And then, after we're in the parking lot, I'm probably 12 years of age or whatever. I'm with a buddy of mine and his dad. And the Samoans never spoke. They just grunted, right? That was their way of communication. Almost caveman-like, if you remember the old school Samoans. So we're out there. All of a sudden, he walks out. It's Aka Samoan. We're like, oh, my God, there he is. Kids run up, get an autograph. He signed autographs. You go get someone's like, yeah, you know how you get to I-4 from here? Or whatever it was, whatever street he was looking for. And I remember it was like, it was like December 25th, if you catch my drift. I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. I'm fully a believer of everything that this guy stands for. And, then you found out that it was just a complete fraud. But anyway, that's a story I had from a house show way back when in Western Massachusetts. All right, or Weston, Massachusetts. Really a bad day for, one Hall of Famer and another that was clearly on his way to a phenomenal career. But Justin Tucker, 10 games. A suspension. Remember, he's now a free agent. Sexual misconduct by 16 different massage therapists. So you got to believe his career is over. Although this league, they'll let you back in. They'll let you back in. They'll turn their head. They always have. The only thing that prevents that is video, right? So if you're a bona fide playoff team and you have a kicker that's going south on you, or you have a kicker who gets injured, do not be surprised if he gets picked up. He's eligible to return on November 11th. Right now on the surface, it doesn't feel like that's going to happen, like his days are over. He still should be in the Hall of Fame, one of the greatest kickers of all time. I mean, in my opinion, right there with Adam Vinatieri. There's only I think it's only 2 kickers in the Hall of Fame. Morton Anderson, George Blanda, and a punter in Ray Guy. Vinatieri did not get in his first ballot.
No, 5 players are primarily place kicker or punter in the Hall of Fame.
Who else besides
Morton Anderson?
Okay, Morton Anderson, yeah. Who, of course, missed here.
George Blanda, Lou Groza, okay. Groza, yeah, Ray Guy, and Jan
Stenerud?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, there you go. Tucker's getting in. Vinatieri's getting in. I'd love him to put the Polish powder keg in. I'd put Janikowski in, but I just don't know if he has the numbers. And then Wander Franco. My gosh, man, this kid, he was only 21 years of age. He had everything right in front of him. He came up as an 18-year-old in Tampa. And if you look at his numbers, they began to grow in a very limited amount of play. But today he was found guilty of sexual abuse back in the Dominican Republic for a sexual relationship with a 14-year-old girl. So he's going away. Justin Tucker's not going away. Justin Tucker's out of the NFL, and his career, for the most part, is over. Again, there's a chance he could slip back in. Wander Franco, I mean, this is like a Henry Ruggs story. You know what I mean? So young, so talented, just the ability to have, maybe a 20-plus year career. And there's no one to blame but himself. But he was found guilty a little bit earlier today. So that happened as well. All right, as promised, some Trevor stuff on the other side. We'll do that right here on Into the Night.
Here's another classic Florida Gator moment.
Kind of calm myself down, pull back tears.
You have never seen any player in the entire country play as hard as I will play the rest of the season, and you never see someone push the rest of the team as hard as I will push everybody the rest of the season. And you never see a team play harder than we will the rest of the season. God bless.
1010XL.
Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
Jacksonville, Florida. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com. Plumbing problems? AC not blowing? Septic tank doing whatever septic tanks do? Don't call 3 different companies and play contractor roulette. Just call Duck Rooter. We handle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning all under one roof. That's one call, one company, and one bill that won't give you a heart attack. For fast, reliable, and slightly ducky service, call 904-862-6769 or waddle over to DuckDuckRooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Need the right tools for the job without the full-time price tag? Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach is what you need when you need it. From heavy machinery for commercial projects to weekend projects at the house, we've got you covered. We've been serving Jacks for 50 years. Visit Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach, just behind Aqua East Surf Shop, or call today. We also have event rentals too. Tucker Equipment Rentals. Tools you need without the price tag of purchasing.
Go ahead and dial it. Dial what?
When you call in your opinion or hear an interesting interview from a sports insider on Jaguars Today or XL Primetime, you're getting it straight from the Checkmate Coatings phone line all day, every day on 1010XL.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
4! Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Hey, Jacksonville Hicken here. I've been around the block or two, and Checkmate Coatings is who I'd call for my own place. They're my new MVP for stunning, long-lasting floors.
Brendan here with Checkmate Coatings. No massive overhead means top prices on top-quality pool decks, driveways, garages, and patios, too.
Visit CheckmateCoatings.com today. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Yo, it's your boy E to the T here, and I know that getting into an accident is stressful, but getting the proper care doesn't have to be. That's why I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. Even if you're at fault, your insurance covers you. And remember, you have the right to choose your own doctor. Even a minor accident can cause whiplash for years if it goes untreated. So don't wait. Call the auto accident experts at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Your recovery starts today.
How many different denominations of paper money are currently being used?
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
There are 7 denominations of U.S. currency: the 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 50, and $100 bills.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
North Florida is growing with lots of new families joining our community. If you're one of them making the move here, your next move should be a call to American Electrical to create the best home automation system, enhancing your living experience. There are many ways your life can be made easier through smart home technology, voice-activated systems, automated lighting, total house temperature control. With American Electrical, they've got everything you need to automate your home and make it your true oasis. Check out American-Electrical.com, powered by professionalism and raising the excellence bar.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I spent a few minutes on wrestling, and a lot of people responded, bringing back some childhood memories. Yeah, no doubt. Big part of my life growing up, and then at times in adulthood, it was almost like an escape. And it's about entertainment, right? I mean, in a lot of these circles, the actual wrestling itself was, I don't want to say the worst part of it, but I love the behind the scenes. I love the interviews. I love the storylines. I loved all of that. And, we were talking earlier about golf and how on the PGA Tour right now, it's just bland. It's vanilla. And there's such an opportunity. We were talking about the UFC last night with Rafael Esparza. Right now, they're down star power. They are. Boxing has been down star power for decades. I'm guessing that NASCAR, Dylan, I know you're a NASCAR guy. I'm guessing they're down a little bit.
Oh, they're down big time.
On star power, because I don't follow it the way that I used to. With Miller Lite, I used to go behind the tent there on the pit road. And even when I worked in Chicago, they would send me back for the Daytona 500. No exaggeration. I think I've covered 26 Daytona 500s.
That's a lot.
In my life.
Yeah, the big names now are the old guys that are still hanging on, like Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
But those guys don't have much longer. I mean, the young guys, they just don't. They don't have that protege. It used to be NASCAR, you'd be in the Busch Series and you would build your name there, and but then you get to the Cup. Now it's you're 18, 19, you go straight to Cup. Nobody knows you, and it's just hard to build that brand unless you do something crazy. I know Chase Elliott, Bill Elliott's son, is a big name. But, yeah, there's not many.
When I was working in Chicago, I used to get the winner every week. And whether it was Jeff Gordon or Tony Stewart, Rusty didn't win a lot, right? But no matter who it was, outside, the only one who wouldn't come on is Dale. Dale Earnhardt, no. He didn't have time. And listen, I loved you. I was there when he died. One of the most surreal deals of any event I've ever covered. But you just look around, there's so much personality in the NFL. There's so much personality in the NBA. You're never going to get personality in the NHL because they put the helmets on the players. And that's got a PGA Tour feel to it, because unless you're a real student of the game and you study hockey, for the most part, they all look the same. Now, they had to put the helmets on because of the equipment and the puck's just going way too far these days. But it did lose a lot. When I grew up, you knew who was bald. You knew who had long hair, blonde hair, black hair, whatever it was. You could identify. Real good fans can. But if you're just come home and pop on the TV, they all look the same. Kind of like the PGA Tour. So just imagine what the opportunity must be like for someone out there who can really change not the sport, but the way that people look at this sport. Imagine if you got a kid out of the city. Imagine if you got a kid from the other side of the tracks. Golf is silver spoon. Golf is rich. Golf is for the upper class. I get it. Turns a lot of people off. You know, the other sports that we cover, it's rags to riches. It's coming from nothing and finding their way out and then making a successful life for them. An incredible, not golf. I mean, these kids start with putting greens in their backyard and never had to go out and work a day. And I think that does rub a lot of people the wrong way. Still, there's an opportunity for a Lee Trevino. There's an opportunity for a John Daly. You know, some try. Max Homa tries. Tyrell. I love his bombastic attitude. You know, he gets pissed off all the time. I appreciate John Rahm getting mad. I appreciate Scotty Scheffler. I appreciate none of this, oh, you can't show your emotions. Are you kidding me? Everyone that you play golf with and I play golf with shows emotion. This sport, more than any, is so ripe for a guy who, and again, you have to be a really good player. All right, you have to be consistent. You got to earn checks. You got to be on the leaderboard. You got to win. Sooner or later, it's going to go away if you don't have it. 94.75 Ballou. Why don't they make pro golfers use actual woods like they do in professional baseball and let the amateurs use the fancy equipment? Same way you can use the aluminum in the National Hockey League. People want the offense. I like to see professional golfers score. To me, a par is a good score. That's why I loved Oakmont. That's why I love the United States Open. But most of our listeners, not only here, but nationwide, they want to see guys go low. They want to see birdies. They want to see eagle opportunities. They want to see guys hit at 300 plus and then, you know, approach the green with an iron. That's what they want. And that's fine. I mean, you also want a 34-31 football game, right? You don't want a 10-7 football game. You want a 9-8 baseball game, right? You don't want a 2-1 baseball game. You don't want a 2-1 hockey. Look at these NBA numbers. Look at the NBA finals. Look at the totals. They were like 230-something every game.
And it wasn't but 15 years ago when the Lakers-Celtics played Game 7, like, start of the fourth quarter, like, they didn't even reach the 60s yet.
It was unbelievable. And it was a better game then. It was a better team game then. But we all want offense. Absolutely. Do we want offense? We'll see what happens, though. What an opportunity is out there for somewhere, for some kid. But, you know, I mean, it's I'm not upset with them. They're taught differently than you are in other sports. This is all about being a gentleman. This is all about class. This is all about sportsmanship. I mean, where else do you ever hear the word etiquette, right? You think you're going to hear etiquette in an NFL circle, in a huddle? Hey, I noticed you went a little low in that block. Would you show some etiquette?
We'd hear it in baseball for a little bit, but that's gone now.
Baseball. Dude, the College World Series, the regionals, the pimping of home runs.
Oh, my gosh, everybody does it now.
In college, I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but it's like, you got guys down 5-0.
Well, remember
hitting solo shots, stopping and staring.
Remember at Tennessee, was it a year or two ago? Like, they would have a walk and like they would just act like they hit a grand slam. They were like the number one team in the country. I forget if it was last year or 2 years ago. Yeah, the whole let the kids play, that's gone to a whole nother mantra in the last couple of years. Like 10 years ago, it was like, no, we're not going to allow that. Now it's just like, yeah, whatever. It's part of the game.
Yep. I just can't figure it out. But I mean, if you could write a storyline right now on anything that is sports related, anything, there it is. Give me a PGA Tour golfer. Rags to riches. You've never heard it before. I think Lee Trevino, that's before my time. I think Lee there might have been a little bit of a struggle there. And of course, he was a phenomenal personality. But we look at these athletes differently because, again, they're all from the silver spoon. I'm not saying they don't work hard. I'm not saying there's not great stories. But, wouldn't it be great to hear that here's a guy from the inner city whose mom worked 3 jobs, whose dad was not around. This guy, all of a sudden he found an old pair of golf clubs and he started hitting it, off the pavement, what have you. And he got a break here. All of a sudden he makes it. And he's got an incredible personality.
What about Calvin Pete? Remember that name?
Long before my time.
Yeah. It says he didn't pick up a golf club until he was in his 20s.
Hall of Famer.
And he won 12 times on the PGA Tour.
Mm-hmm. Well, but that's the best storyline in sports. You can't write a better storyline in the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, or what did I forget? The NBA. I don't know. And they've all been written. They have. They've all been written. The PGA Tour is where you could write the greatest. That is the greatest possibility. I mean, no one is going to take this thing the way that Tiger did. And I'm not a front runner. Boy, I was with Tiger. I loved it. I loved everything about Tiger. And I tell you why I loved it more than anything, his drive, man. His drive, his competitiveness was just insane. I was lucky enough to cover the United States Open in 2000 at Pebble Beach when I was working in Chicago, when he just ran away from everything. And just the look in his eyes, it wasn't enough. It was never enough. But that to me would be just like a Hollywood story. Fill it any way you can. I was looking at these. Warren Sharp, I enjoy his work. He's a math nerd. And he really dives into numbers, football related. He had a lot of good stuff that has come out over the last week or so. First things first, I said it earlier in the program. I don't know if you heard me, Dylan. Do you know who a year ago threw the most passes behind the line of scrimmage?
Was it Mahomes? I saw this. Yeah, I saw this on Twitter.
30.8%. It's the most since 2005. Again, image is everything. When I think of Patrick Mahomes, I think of one of the greatest quarterbacks. He's already entering one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game. He's the best player right now today, in my opinion, in the NFL. And I think of him throwing the football downfield. Okay, he's had different wide receivers. He's had arguably the best tight end in football for the last 8 or 9 years. Had a decent rushing attack. 30.8% of his passes are behind the line of scrimmage. I have more for you. Since 2021, he has thrown the football for 3,054 yards behind the line of scrimmage. What's encouraging here? 7th on this list is Trevor Lawrence, 1,624 yards. When you really break down Trevor Lawrence, and this also comes into play with what we expect Liam Cohen's offense is going to look like. There is going to be so much behind the line of scrimmage. There is going to be so much of a screen game, which was just huge with Cohen in Tampa Bay. And when you have 3 wide receivers, no matter where they are on the field, if you get them the ball, they have a chance to score. When's the last time you could say that about this franchise? You heard Tom McManus last hour say he thinks Diami Brown is actually faster than Hunter and Thomas Jr. You've got those 3 players. Find a way to get them the ball. I'm still going to totally respect the Jaguars' public relations and not give you anything that is scheme related. Okay, you'll see that when training camp gets underway in less than a month at the Miller Electric Center. But that has to be the biggest thought with Liam Cohen. Find a way to get my playmakers the football. All right, here's the deal with Trevor Lawrence. He has to improve in that category immensely. He needs touch. He needs finesse. The velocity is there. The 100 mile per hour Nolan Ryan fastball is there. No, doesn't need to do that. He needs to take a lot off it. And he needs to be incredibly accurate with his short passing. If you go back and really examine the numbers of Trevor Lawrence, statistically speaking, he is a good, deep passing quarterback. Where Trevor Lawrence really struggles is short, intermediate stuff. Stuff that I have to imagine is very fixable with proper coaching and proper game calling. Simple as that. So this is a positive. The other side, I got to hit a break here. The other side of this is not necessarily positive. As a matter of fact, it was shocking by Warren Sharp on Trevor Lawrence. I'll say that for you on the other side. But I think that is absolutely encouraging for Trevor Lawrence, that he has put up those numbers so far, and we've seen it. It's been far from perfect. And hopefully that's a big part of his game that shows improvement for Trevor Lawrence in 2025. All right, let's put our final thoughts on this on the other side. I'll get you ready for Hacker Nation. He takes over tonight at 8 o'clock.
Summer on the First Coast with 1010XL, Jacksonville's cool summer station.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
Mia here, and I love my custom closet from Closets by Design. With summer in full swing, having my warm weather wardrobe front and center is a game changer. No more digging for the right outfit on a hot day. If your home needs a summer refresh, whether that be a closet, a garage, or a pantry, schedule a free in-home consultation with Closets by Design. And the offer has been extended, folks. Receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off. And free installation on any order of $750 or more. Visit closetsbydesign.com.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or MattDadJacksonville.com.
I'm Max Fink. Join me for the Gator Report on 1010XL as I break down the latest storylines in Gator Nation.
Put together by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go Gators! Where does Northeast Florida buy cars? Arlington Toyota. Why Arlington? Selection. Arlington has over 800 new and used vehicles all in one location with everyday low prices. Plus, right now you choose a pre-owned 2023 Camry, RAV4, Tacoma for $0 down and only $388 per month. Or how about no payments till January 2026? Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard just a quarter-mile east of 295 or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Hey, Hickett here here for my friends at Zero Res. Gang, vacuuming is not sufficient to maintain the cleanliness and lifespan of your carpet, period. Do not, let me repeat, do not leave deep cleaning to yourself, but do-it-yourself dirt-attracting carpet soaking machines. No, no, no. Call on the cleaning freaks from Zero Res. Big summer savings. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Take 20% off air duct cleaning as well. Call them, 904-287-5727, and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Denny Thompson here. You got to check out Tyson's Showroom Home Theater with surround sound and comfy theater chairs. You can transform your living room into a cinematic experience. I can stay there to watch all my games. It's that comfortable. Call Tyson today and bring the theater experience home. Tyson Sound and Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming, Iowa.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast, but Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass, and he told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm Mac with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise in towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Round 2 of the NBA draft going on tonight. The NHL draft getting ready to get underway, and this month will also include the June amateur draft in Major League Baseball. To me, the big story of the day was Clayton Kershaw. Had an opportunity to watch him spin a web early today, where you just came from in Colorado. You said you saw the Dodgers play the Rockies on what, Tuesday nights?
Yes. They won 9-7, saw a 6-run inning, saw a lot of offense.
Mm-hmm. Today was not an offensive day. Both pitchers certainly did their part to win, but Kershaw came in needing 8 strikeouts for 3,000 in his career. He had 5 today. So it was a good effort for Kershaw. I just lost the numbers here. Let's see. Clayton Kershaw ended up going 6 innings today. He allowed 2 hits, a run, struck out 5, only threw 69 pitches in 6 innings. And they took him out anyway. So he'll certainly be up against that for his next start. He improves to 4-0 on the year. But if you look at Clayton Kershaw, I still think this is one of the untold stories of the last 20 years in Major League Baseball. I mean, with this win today, he goes to 216-94. Think about that. He's got a win percentage all-time of .697, nearly 70% of his starts he has won. And I get it. The win statistic is not what it once was. All you got to do is look at Paul Skeens, who actually got beat yesterday, that great matchup against Mizorowski or whatever the young man's name is in Milwaukee. But Skeens is now 4-7. If you put him on the Dodgers or put him on the Yankees or put him on a team like that, who knows? He could be 11-1, 10-2, something crazy like that. But when you go back to Kershaw, he's got a lifetime earned run average of 2.51, which went down today. Has a lifetime whip of 1.01, which possibly could have gone down today when it's all said and done to 1. We will see. And the WAR is not listed here, but out of the last 15 or so years, he has to be, right up there with Verlander and Scherzer as the most prominent starting pitcher in Major League Baseball as far as the WAR. So just wanted to share that with you. I want to dive into the rest of this Trevor stuff tomorrow when we have a little bit more time to examine it. But I gave you what I thought was a positive from Warren Sharp on Trevor Lawrence behind the line of scrimmage, and then also really went through what I believe could change for the better with him with this new regime. The most shocking part of this, okay, and this is scary. According to Warren Sharp, the most accurate quarterbacks when the pocket is clean, Trevor Lawrence was 28th in the NFL last year. Now, the description of a clean pocket, I'm sure we can argue, right? I mean, I don't know how that definition really comes into play. How long do you hold off a blocker? Again, that is an arguable definition. But this is anything but good. I've always been under the impression that with a clean pocket and with significant time, Trevor Lawrence is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL when it comes to completing passes. The problems are when the pocket is crashed, when he is pressured, when he is flushed out of the pocket, when he tries to make too many things happen. That is where erratic Trevor Lawrence play comes into the fold. These numbers right here are scary. But again, let's save that for tomorrow. You told me that his Madden rating just came out tonight as well.
Yeah, apparently Daniel Griffiths, he tweeted out he's rated as a 74 overall, tied for 24th among quarterbacks. That is, 74 is like average, below average. I mean, usually the good guys that are talented are usually in at least the low 80s.
I don't do the Madden, so we're going to get to this tomorrow on Friday. Some good and bad here. And again, this is the time to really rip into it. Because look what I said about behind the line of scrimmage. It was a real positive thought about I could see that getting better. Clean pocket, I mean, we have no idea, even though they brought in 6 new offensive linemen. Is he going to have a clean pocket? 7094 says, Ballou, he struggled with short stuff because his team can't run the ball. Nothing has opened up. Hey, listen. I never have a conversation about Trevor Lawrence without saying that they can't run the ball. I mean, I did it with Tom McManus earlier in the program tonight. Absolutely identified the fact that you have to run the ball. You run the ball, that takes so much pressure off him. And if you can pass protect, he's going to be better, even though I just gave you these numbers from Warren Sharp. So maybe the latter part is a little bit more a little bit more worthy of an argument. I don't know. But certainly I agree with that, with the 70-94. There's no question. There's not even an issue, college or pro. Quarterbacks are absolutely going to be so much better if you're able to run the football. And listen, they got 4 guys in camp that they like. That is going to be an incredibly competitive part of training camp this year for the Jacksonville Jaguars to find out who gets the most touches at RB.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
I was cleaning out my desk today, not sure why, and I found this old list of wrestlers who had died from 85 on, 65 or less. And some of the guys who died in their early 20s was absolutely shocking to me. And I was like, I wonder if the listeners have had it with this. I got text after text after text after text, people talking about wrestling. I know you're still a huge wrestling guy.
Yeah, probably not what I was a few years ago, but I still follow it somewhat. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, the 80s and the 90s, it was the wild, wild west, and we lost a lot of great guys. And look, A&E, WWE's got, I think, a deal with A&E. They do all these great documentaries now that kind of tell you how crazy it was in the 1980s and 1990s. It's insanity to go and hear some of those stories about what those guys did to their bodies.
Not only that, but some of the stories that go around it, like Jimmy Snuka in the hotel room.
Yeah.
Dino Bravo getting gunned down in Canada.
Marty Jannetty.
Who's the one who got stabbed backstage again?
Bruiser Brody.
There you go.
In Puerto Rico.
The Von Erich family.
Von Erich. Those are the Dark Side of the Ring episodes.
I saw them all. There was like 9 of them.
Really good.
They really put that together well. I saw the Vince McMahon documentary. I love those things.
Yeah, and it's weird now because now it's streaming on Netflix and they're doing all this different stuff that they've never done in years past. But the access that they give you is really, really crazy. Now, that's kind of what I watch. I can't remember the last time I actually watched a Raw or a SmackDown. I watched the little excerpts online, behind the scenes footage. Everybody's got a podcast now. I can't imagine if we would have had this social media platform in the 90s, what it would have been like with some of those guys.
They got good personalities out there right now?
Truthfully, honestly, I don't watch it near as much as I used to. I mean, I know John Cena and CM Punk are still doing their thing.
And they're making movies.
Yeah, but I don't know a lot of the new guys just because, quite frankly, I haven't watched a regular episode of Raw or SmackDown in probably over a year and a half.
Really? It's been that long?
Yeah, I haven't gotten out of it, but I'm certainly not what I once was.
Now, you used to go to WrestleMania.
Yeah, we went to like 8 or 9 WrestleManias in a row, and then I got married and had a kid, and that all
that'll do it to you.
That all ended. Yeah.
All right. You've been busy all week long. What do you got coming up tonight?
Yeah, obviously, second round of the NBA draft. We'll talk about Walter Clayton to Utah. Orlando taking Jason Richardson's son, Jace Richardson, out of Michigan State. We'll go down to Orlando. Jason Beatty of the Orlando Sentinel will stop by actually very soon. He's going to come on about 8:15 or so before Orlando makes their 2 second-round selections. And our NFC West preview continues. Curtis Crabtree of Fox Television in Seattle. Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp, different Seahawk team than what we're used to. Obviously, Geno Smith and DK Metcalf departed this offseason.
Yeah, to Vegas and Pittsburgh, respectively.
And, of course, Seattle will be here week 6. The Jaguars play every NFC West team this year.
Hey, it's better I know they still got some long trips to Vegas and Arizona and San Francisco, but that trip to Seattle is brutal, so good thing to have it here. All right, have a lot of fun.
Thanks, Rick.
It's going to do it for us tonight on this Thursday. Thank you to Tom McManus. Thank you to Rick Shoemaker. Appreciate those two gentlemen joining us. Is it already coming up on a Friday? Wow. Got a couple of good things in store for you tomorrow. But again, I want to get into this Trevor situation and go back and reference some of these statistics. That'll be part of what we do during tomorrow's program as well. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou. You folks have a great night. We'll talk tomorrow at 6.